Hi, friends. Don't mind me. As you get old, I don't know. Your skin gets itchy. Maybe, yeah. I guess even as a kid, my skin was always kind of scratchy. But anyway, here it is. Today is February 22nd. Turns out I was looking at my calendar and it says it's Washington's birthday. Yes, good old George, father of our country, all that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, quite the character. I I often think I don't know a whole. I'm certainly not an expert on the man, but from what I can gather, he was boy. Well, he didn't let too much moss grow on his shoes, boy, or his boots. I'm sorry, for sure. He was always up to something. I know Sandy and I one day with our Basset Hound Roxy. So this was years ago now, back when Roxy was alive. We went down to we toured Western Virginia. Yeah, and we wound up one day we wound up in near Lynchburg, Virginia, and there's the natural bridges there. Yeah, it's I think it's a federal park. I don't know. It might be a state park. I don't know, but it's a park run by the government, and it's that big arch that you go under. Right, there's a little stream and all that. It's a beautiful thing to see and very high up. I didn't realize, but on the top of that arch, you don't see it in the picture, the pictures they take, but there's a highway going over it. It's so strong that I think it's Route 11. Route 11 goes right over it. Yeah. So if you hear you're in all of nature's splendor, you might hear a semi, downshifting on the top of the darn thing. But I guess they engineers checked it out and said, no, it's more than strong enough to take traffic. So there you go. Of course, we went up and rode over it. But you don't dare get out. I think you'd be in trouble. They don't see. I don't know if they got a walkway. Yeah, I didn't notice. I was kind of busy making sure we didn't go over the darn. I mean, they got fencing and all that, but doggone. But if you're back down in the valley, going under the arch, there is a spot where if you look now, there's all sorts of signs saying no graffiti, please. Don't get caught doing graffiti or scratching your name. Okay. Well, if you look, there's one spot there where you can. If you go on the guided tour, they show you. But Sandy and I just went, and we were walking by ourselves, us and Roxy. And there's a little spot it's about 8 or 9 feet up on the wall, a GW. And it turns out they say that was George Washington, left his initials. He was out there surveying. Yeah, I guess the land, and he come across that place, and he decided to scratch his name in there. And he's about the only one they let do it. After that, no, there's not too many other folks do. But boy, can you imagine back in the 1700s walking through that territory? Oh my gosh, I don't know. You're a long way from any fast food restaurant or pizzeria. Doggone, I don't know. Well, I guess you gotta content yourself with eating groundhog, I suppose. And then what's another thing? Gosh, there was evidently a campaign, I believe, during the French and Indian War, or it may have been. Again, I don't know all my details about this, but the gist of it is what interests me. Not so much the exact date and everything, but evidently George Washington led. He may have been with the British Army at that time, or the American branch of the British Army, and they had to go evidently. Their orders were to, I guess, do some fighting out near Pittsburgh. But again, that was again, there was no Amtrak going out there. There was no train they could take. No Greyhound bus didn't go. Okay, you had to walk, and so they evidently walked trails. Now I don't know if you've ever been in Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania, if you're looking at this screen, Pennsylvania has mountains that pretty much, and they're spiny old mountains. Oh my gosh, and they're so long. Usually rivers flow in between them, and the rivers are going kind of south southwest in a kind of an arc. And so you basically you've got a river to cross, then a mountain to climb, then a mountain to go down, then another river to cross, then another mountain to go up, another mountain. It's insane. You go out of your mind, and I'll bet there's probably about 20 of those. Maybe more. I don't know, but there's more than enough. One would be too many, but they got lots of them, and that's how from like down around, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, and all that. Once you get to the Susquehanna River, those darn mountains start, and it's like that all the way to Pittsburgh. Oh my God. You'd be worn out just doing that. But then they get there and they get into a battle, and it isn't going so well, so they got to retreat. And there they are retreating over that same terrain, with, I guess, the enemy somewhat in hot pursuit. Maybe not too much, but because they lived. But can you imagine? Oh my heavens! You had to be so worn out, and you had injured to bring back, and oh my God. And I guess it was just a horrendous ordeal. You just don't realize what some of these people went through back in those days. It's amazing. The winter in Morristown during the American Revolution, where they camped out somewhere between Morristown and Mendham, New Jersey. So darn cold you could just die. And it was they were living in little log cabins and stuff. Oh my God, and just colder than the devil. And oh gosh, what else? I remember I interviewed a George Washington impersonator when I had my radio shows, and this guy was good. He became George Washington. I'm talking to George and I got him on the air, and it was fantastic. He was very good at it. And in fact, I remember just to be nice, I was saying, and he liked to be called Your Excellency. I said, so Your Excellency, where are you now? Do you realize, young man? Do you realize, young man, that I cannot tell you where I am? What if perhaps the enemy is listening to this, what did you call it, a show of yours? They'd know where we are. Next thing you know, we'd be ambushed. My God, think, man, think. Gosh, you're right, Your Excellency. I said, well, yeah. I said, well, you've let. Suffice it to say, you left Manhattan, right? And do you realize nowadays in our time? Again, I was talking to him in his time. He was talking to me in my time. I was talking to him from my time to his time, and I said. Do you realize that in my day, there's a bridge? In fact, oddly enough, the bridge is named after you, sir. Your Excellency. Sorry, Your Excellency. Yes, you're forgiven. I said, there's a bridge that's named after you. It stands tall over the Palisades, and if you could have gotten there and set up your artillery, you could have shelled the British down in Harlem. Oh my God, he says, you're kidding. Oh, I should have liked to have seen that bridge. And we went on from there. It was so darn cool. I know I mentioned to him. I said, "Now you've Valley Forge is now in the past for you, right?" He says, "Yes, it was quite the ordeal. Middle of winter, so darn cold, so damned cold, and we had to cross the Delaware to go and then." Ambush attack the Hessians before they could awaken. We had to get across the Delaware. I said, there's a bridge there now. What? There's a bridge there now? Why wasn't I taught? Oh, yes, in your time. I said, yeah, and it costs like a quarter to go across. It's like 25 cents. 25 cents is quite a bit of money. In your day, it might have been a penny. Well, okay, a penny might be worth it. Oh, I should have liked to have seen that bridge too. He says it was so damned cold getting across that river, cursed river, ice flows. Oh, and I said, yeah, and there's a highway. You just walk right down the highway, bang, you got them. He says, my heavens. Ah. I said, now we got buses and stuff. You could all got on the bus, dropped off, near the Hessians, get a little, and then just jump them. He said, my heavens. Ah. I said, they probably all be watching TV, He's, really? What's that? I said, don't get me started on television. But I said, yeah, it's, yeah, but it's, but you think about it, to be serious, those people really, really put themselves through a real ringer for this country. You get right down to it. So anyway, it's George's birthday today. I'm sorry, His Excellency's birthday. You might want to just think kindly of him in your prayers. Him and his men. I'm sure, boy, those guys were something else. I don't know. So bless their hearts. You think about nowadays, God, we have trouble if we go into a tizzy if our cell phone battery dies, and my heavens, those people, wow, pretty tough bunch. Anyway, I thought I'd say, we'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.